What's up from 50 States My Way? It's Ashley, and I'm sporting my official race shirt from the Shamrock Marathon and 8K because this video is going to highlight the 5 things that Ryan and I think that you should do on your Virginia runcation. 3 of the items we did during our actual Virginia Beach runcation, and then the other 2 we did a year later when we went back to the Smithfield, Virginia area, which is right by Virginia Beach. The 5 things that we think that you should see when you're doing a Virginia trip or a Virginia runcation are, of course, the Virginia Beach Boardwalk, the Cape Henry Lighthouse, merged into one, which is actually 2 locations, but we'll call them one, is Yorktown and Colonial Williamsburg. And then the 2 from our second trip were a visit to the historic Jamestown archaeological site, not to be confused with the Jamestown reenactment location. And then finally, a must for anybody going through the Virginia area, and that's to hike, drive, travel to, experience Shenandoah National Park, which was absolutely beautiful. We got to see it in October right as the fall colors were ending. It was amazing. So with that, let's take a look at these 5 locations, the 5 things that we think you should do in Virginia on your runcation. Again, we hope you give us a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to Run 50 States My Way. When traveling to Virginia Beach from the north, you go through the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel on I-64. We stayed at the Fairfield Inn and loved the views, plus it being at mile 13 was a huge perk for the race. Our number 1 for a Virginia runcation is to explore the boardwalk and the beach. We loved walking along the beach, seeing the sunsets, and enjoying the fishing pier. The Virginia Beach Boardwalk goes for 3 miles and is part of the race courses. There are nautical sculptures and statues and other monuments along the boardwalk and side streets that lead to Atlantic Avenue. You can get a full body workout on the beach at a fitness park right on the beach, modeled after a park in Santa Barbara. A favorite and the finish line location for the Shamrock race is the King Neptune statue, a 24-foot, 12-ton bronze statue, which of course is a popular place for pictures. We love to play putt-putt, and there are 3 locations on the Boardwalk Beach area to choose from. Great spots to eat include Abbey Road Pub, where I got a favorite for St. Patrick's Day, the Guinness Irish Stew. We also loved Murphy's Irish Pub for brunch after the 8K, complete with the bagpipe player to help us get into the Irish spirit. Number 2, the Cape Henry Lighthouse. There are 2 lighthouses at Cape Henry, part of Fort Story Military Base. The original lighthouse is the 4th oldest in the country and the first lighthouse authorized by the U.S. government, dating from 1792 by President George Washington. The lighthouse is located near the first landing site where English settlers first set foot on their way to settle in Jamestown. The distinctive black and white striped New Cape Lighthouse was built in 1881 but remains closed to the public. Be aware when visiting that this is a military base and IDs are needed to enter. Number 3, Yorktown and Williamsburg. We ventured to the 18th century village of Yorktown, where we walked the town, explored shops, and had lunch. It is clear to see how the French blockade played a key part in the U.S. ensuring victory during the battle and the British surrender. We arrived late to the Yorktown battlefield, which is a National Park Service site, and were not able to tour, but we were able to walk around and really feel the history. From Yorktown, we drove the Colonial Parkway from Yorktown to Williamsburg, which is a 23-mile scenic roadway. Colonial Williamsburg is the world's largest living history museum. Colonial Williamsburg Historic Area houses restored and historical preserved buildings. 88 of which are the originals. The 301 acres features iconic sites, working tradespeople, historic taverns, and 2 world-class art museums. Most historic trades and sites are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission tickets are required to enter buildings and experience programming in the historic area. With your ticket, you enjoy interpreter-guided tours of most iconic sites, including the Capitol, Governor's Palace, and Courthouse. Because we got there with only about an hour left, we didn't purchase a ticket, but we were able to walk the area for free. We were let into one house tour since it was at the end of the day, and this was truly special, and we absolutely loved it. A highlight for me was being able to find the glass that I've seen in the Outlander shows for the Jacobite or King Charlie Stuart glass on the table. I totally geeked out. Another highlight was getting to see and hear the fife and drums as they walked through the historic streets. On a second trip to Virginia, we had the opportunity to see 2 things that we didn't have time on our first trip. We stayed in a getaway cabin for a glamping experience that was so romantic and fun. Cooking over an open campfire was definitely an adventure. Our number 4 is journeying to 1607 and the Jamestown archaeological site. This 22.5 acres on the Jamestown location began as an archaeological project in 1994 to find the remains of the original fort from 1607. Over 25 years of exploration have established the location of the fort and found over 3 million artifacts. We loved exploring the archaeology museum, and while it was raining and we couldn't see the dig sites, we truly had a blast. Number 5, driving through and hiking Shenandoah National Park. Shenandoah National Park is a must when in Virginia. Skyline Drive runs 105 miles north and south along the crest of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Shenandoah National Park and is the only public road through the park. This national park does require you to pay admission. It takes about 3 hours to travel the entire length of the park on a clear day. We loved driving the road and pulling off at various overlooks to take in the views. There are 2 visitor centers that you can get your stamp. The largest developed area, Big Meadows, is near the center of the park at mile 51. We completed 2 main hikes on this trip. The first was along the Dark Hollow Falls Trail and then to the Rapidan Camp where President Hoover often stayed. We saw so many great waterfalls, crossed different water features, and saw where the Appalachian Trail connects. We loved the blackberry cobbler and blackberry ice cream at the Big Meadows Wayside, along with the blackberry ice cream pie that we had at Skyland Lodge on the second day of the trip. The second hike that we completed was the Hawksbill Summit via the Upper Hawksbill Trail. This was an amazing hike because the morning that we hiked it, it was filled with fog. While dangerous driving along Skyline Drive through the fog, we absolutely loved hiking the 2-mile round trip. It was like being in the clouds and completely magical. We loved staying at the summit as long as we could to really see how the landscape changed, see all of the different leaves. We were there about 2 weeks after peak for the October time period that we were there, so we had just missed all of the fall foliage, but it was so beautiful being on the summit and just seeing all of the different viewpoints and really taking it in. It wasn't also very busy when we were up at the Hawksbill Summit, so it felt like we were in the clouds in this magical environment all by ourselves. There really is so much to experience on a Virginia runcation. These are only the 5 things that we did and the 5 things that we loved. Links will be in the description below for all of the things that have been described in this video. Comment below where you like to go in Virginia, or if you've done any of the things that we described in this video. And most importantly, we hope that you subscribe to our Runcation adventures. Up next will be our road trip through Kentucky, Tennessee, on our way to Little Rock, Arkansas. Thanks for watching.